Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. Welcome to the MundaneMatt Show. Today is the 25th of April, 2017. I might have said yesterday was the 25th. I just got done moving. My brain is totally screwed up right now. I don't even know what day it is. Some people tell me today is Tuesday. As far as I know, it could be Sunday night. I got no idea. So I apologize for getting that wrong, but the stories today are super interesting, and I think you guys are going to get a kick out of them because, oh dear God, the world we live in just can't stop being fully retarded. But first things up, let's take a look over at Oxford University, where oh God, apparently avoiding eye contact is now considered everyday racism. Yeah, I wish I was making this up. I really do wish I was making this up, but I'm not. They actually are saying this. So staff at Oxford University have been told that avoiding eye contact with students could constitute everyday racism. So a staff member, teacher, administrator, learned individual, walking down the hallway, right, thinking to themselves about what their next class is going to be about, prepping in their mind how to mold and shape fragile young egos, and get people prepared for the right screwing that happens when you enter into the real world. And if they don't acknowledge a marginalized minority person, a person of color, or whomever, by looking at them in the eyes, that it could be considered everyday racism. So it's in a list that is of racial microaggressions that have been published in a newsletter by Oxford's Equality and Diversity Unit. Talk about a way to straight screw with people. Talk about a way to just make them feel guilty every step of the way. You don't look someone in the eye, you're clearly a racist. This is internalized racism. You ignored them. You didn't acknowledge them as human beings. You are a horrible person. It described in the newsletter microaggressions as subtle everyday racism, which can be alienating. Yeah, because you now have to look everybody in the eye all the time intently, because you don't want to be alienating. You want to just be that creepy dude that never breaks eye contact. And you all know who I'm talking about. There's always that one person that will look you in the eyes no matter what, to the point of where it's like, I can't tell. Are you interested in what I'm saying? Or are you just trying to fuck me? There's a question there. But truthfully, it's one of those things where, dear God. So Oxford University said that the newsletter was one way of supporting its staff in its pursuit of equality of opportunity. This makes no sense. That's Oxford University just saying, well, yeah, we're not going to call this out as BS, but it's clearly BS. The newsletter also said that racial microaggressions might include not making eye contact or speaking directly to people. Okay. Now speaking directly to people. I don't quite understand that one, to be honest with you. I don't quite get it. I don't understand how that's a thing. Okay, whatever, fine. But not making eye contact, I do understand that, why they might think that. But then again, how many times do you make eye contact with people all the time? Right? Like, how many times are you walking down the hall somewhere and you are looking intently into somebody's eyes? You're not. You might look them, glance them in the eye, say, hey, what's up, or whatever, move on with your day. A lot of people don't like direct eye contact, and it's not because of institutionalized microaggression racism. It has everything to do with, I don't know, fucking insecurities. Right? And a lack of confidence. People sometimes don't like people looking them in the eyes, because then it there's a connection there, and there's always issues. It's not racism. It's just insecurities. Not everyone is confident enough to do that. So here's a little trick for you out there, for all of you Oxford University staffers that are afraid of being said that you are racist for not looking a student of color in the eye, you horrible bastard. Look at them in between their eyes. Yeah, right? Look at them in between their eyes. Right in between their eyes. Right at the fucking bridge of their nose. Just look there. They honestly can't tell the difference. They're not able to tell the difference. They're not able to do that whatsoever. But the great thing about this too is other people have definitely argued out against this. And one of those guys is University of Kent professor Frank Ferretti, who says that the newsletter's authors need a reality check. He goes on to say, it's almost as if they've become obsessed with the idea that racism is everywhere. And I think what they're doing is trivializing the real meaning of racism. And he did go on to say that this interpretation represents a new expansion of the meaning of racism, and it could intensify conflict in an unnecessary way. Yeah, you fucking think on that one, dude? You think that, like, when you start calling everything sexist, everything racist, everything, you start seeing it everywhere, it creates unnecessary problems. It creates unnecessary situations of just bad crap that might go down. You know, it's going to intensify problems between people, and it's not going to bridge the gap, because you immediately assume that that other person is a villain and that they're doing things to spite you. And never mind the fact that the people who believe in the microaggression side of things so fervently are people who are taught to believe that everything that happens against them clearly is a result of racism and sexism, and never maybe, I don't know, the fact that they're the problem. And this is an issue that it's coming more and more prevalent on college campuses, and it's been there for a number of years. No one out there can deny it. But when they get to the point of trying to say that not making eye contact with somebody is considered racism, you just want to put your own head through the wall. Like, that's it. I've had enough. You know, you just want to drive in the garage, close the door, run your engine, and then just be like, I'm going to shuffle myself off this mortal coil. Fuck it. Maybe I can be, reincarnated as a butterfly in, I don't know, a valley in Nepal or something, where it's peaceful and chill, and the only people there trying to kill me would be the Chinese. So there's that. Like, I don't know. But in the meantime, this is some of the stupidest crap that I've ever come across. And it's so sad that it's just the world we live in. But let's jump over here to a next story, which I think is a little bit more interesting from a sociological aspect. And it's a teen's powerful prom dress is a tribute to Black Lives Matter. And this is an interesting story to me, mostly because of the dress itself. I just find it to be fascinating. So Milan Bolden Morris was already well known as a basketball player at West Palm Beach, Florida, and she'll be taking her talents to Boston College later on this year. But the 17-year-old became an internet celebrity recently after she went viral for wearing a lavish prom dress that honored the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, Morris is a senior player for the Cardinal Newman High School, and she wore the black dress with lace sleeves and a large photo of Trayvon Martin. Like, seriously, right on her midsection is where this photo of Trayvon. The 17-year-old who was shot to death in 2012. The flowing piece also featured black and white photos of Sandra Bland and other individuals who were killed during police interactions on the dress's train. And as you can see here, there's Sandra Bland, and I think Eric Gardner and a few other people have popped up on this thing. And she's getting a lot of love for wearing this. She's getting a lot of love for wearing this to prom. It's a statement. It's definitely a statement. It's very much in line with in my opinion, with the one woman wearing the Trump for president dress to the Grammys. It's something that I don't really have an issue with her wearing. Some people out there might. But I find this to be probably one of the best representations of a protest for Black Lives Matter than the alternative, which is usually looting and rioting and burning down a CVS or a Little Caesars or so on and so forth. This kind of protest, or at least acknowledgement of the protest, I think is probably one of the better ways that I've seen it expressed. And I wanted to at least, say, hey, look, I actually think what she did, how she did it, works out pretty well. Even if there are complete... Yeah, what's the word I want to use here? If there are ways to completely dismantle the arguments being used in many of those cases, Trayvon Martin was not shot and killed by a police officer. That is something that has been, for some reason, like, really spread around. Like, George Zimmerman was a neighborhood patrolman on duty. He wasn't. He was a private citizen driving to Target, saw a suspicious individual in his complex looking around, and you know what? Trayvon came back. They got into a fight. And in self-defense, Zimmerman shot him. It's a tragic tale, but that's what happened. Sandra Bland is a woman who was pulled over by the police, refused to put out her cigarette. It escalated. She was arrested. She was in jail for 3 days, and right before she was set to be released, she hung herself. And again, there's no evidence to suggest that it was anything other than her own hand killing herself, and that is unfortunate. The thing is, though, is like Sandra Bland and Trayvon Martin don't fall into the Black Lives Matter category, right? Michael Brown is where it all started, but even Michael Brown was based on a lie. Hands up, don't shoot was the biggest lie sold to America in the past, I don't know, like 5 years, I would think. And as a result of that, we've kind of seen Black Lives Matter kind of spiral out of control, in some respects becoming almost a domestic terrorist organization, especially with Toronto, Canada. But what I feel like Milan Bolden Morris is doing with this dress is acknowledging it in a similar way to Colin Kaepernick. But the thing with Colin Kaepernick, though, is Kaepernick is definitely a person who was doing it on the job, which is not appropriate in my opinion. But this girl is going to prom and she's doing it that way, and I don't really see an issue with it. I think that's being done in her own time, being done everything else. So again, I don't have a problem with that, but I found it to be an interesting approach to young people's protesting. This is also coming after the whole Not My President protest from a few months ago, where, you know, young people, at least from what I witnessed in Portland, Oregon, stormed the streets and played a game of chicken with police. This is something that is totally different. And actually, I'm not going to lie, as much as I can argue the merits of people on the dress itself is something that I find to be somewhat inspiring. It's like that. It's a good way of going about being protesting. It's provocative and interesting and can send a message in a way that is going to maybe foster discussion and debate versus using violence and mayhem in order to make yourself feel better about injustices of which you have zero control. So good on them for doing it, in my opinion. But all right, jumping over into a little bit different news, we got ourselves looking at Alex Jones, who just can't seem to catch a break when it comes to going to court over things that he has said on his program. This is something that I think is hitting Alex Jones all at one time. What we see here is he's been hit with a defamation lawsuit from Chobani Yogurt, of all places. Chobani Yogurt. I never would have assumed that would have been one of the places that would have got him, but they did. And here's what they're saying. So the suit filed Monday at the Idaho District Court claims that Jones published false stories linking Chobani over Hamdi Ulukaya to a sexual assault case involving refugee children. The InfoWars story in question is a video released on April 11th titled "Idaho Yogurt Maker Caught Importing Migrant Rapists," which claimed that Chobani was responsible for an increase in crime and tuberculosis in Twin Falls, Idaho, where the company opened the largest yogurt plant in the world in 2012. Yeah, god damn it, Alex Jones. Like, you know what? You know he doesn't care what he says anymore. Like, he doesn't give a shit anymore. The same thing happened with Pizzagate. The very first article Pizzagate ran, or the very first video was "Pizzagate is real," all in caps, like 3 exclamation points. And then they changed the title of it to say, "Pizzagate is real, parentheses, here's what we know," or something along those lines, indicating that maybe it's not as real as they want it to be. And then Jones backpedaled on Pizzagate, and then they kind of like went about it again and talked about it more. And then after James Alefantis basically threatened to sue his ass, he had to issue a public fucking apology. And then his ex-wife is suing him in a custody case, and alimony is basically shown us that she's going to be getting like $3 million over the course of the next, I think, 6 years. Now, this particular case is not as much as you might think. They're only looking for $10,000 in terms of a settlement, in damages is what they're seeking from Jones. But Jones, according to Chobani, Jones says that they refused requests to retract the report. And that's something that's going to be probably used against him. Chobani's lawyers also claim that the video had brought the migrant rapists, but it was neither mentioned nor proven in the report. Again, it's clickbait. Alex Jones does great things at clickbait. Unfortunately, though, given the anti-immigrant sentiment right now that's been somewhat, you could say, popularized recently, more so than before. Or people are more vocal about it, you might say. You know, have kind of led to a boycott being called for amongst InfoWars readers over Chobani hiring people that there's no proof that they've hired migrant rapists, right? And the reason why is because Chobani did hire refugees that came from a refugee settlement or resettlement center run by the College of Southern Idaho. So that's what they were saying. This article doesn't say whether or not these things actually happen, but basically Chobani's lawyers did go on to say that Jones is no stranger to spurious statements. He has claimed that the U.S. government orchestrated the 9/11 attacks and that the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, the mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut. Mr. Jones has now taken aim at Chobani in the Twin Falls community, which is essentially true. This is the problem with sites like InfoWars. This is the problem with these kind of sites, is that they create this, what's the word I want to use here? They create this mindset, right? That everything they say is true. And what it is they literally just throw spaghetti at the wall to see what fucking sticks. And if one thing sticks, because, you know, even a broken clock is right twice a day. If something sticks, then they're like, look, we did it. You see, we did it. We proved that the freaking frogs are being turned gay by the water. Like they prove all this shit. And then they use that, or they prove one, maybe two things. And then they use that as a way to say, but if this is real, then the rest of what we talk about is real. Even though the rest of it is probably absolute fucking horseshit. It's just but that's how Alex Jones operates. And I wouldn't be surprised if InfoWars gets sued into obsolescence in the next couple years, because, you know, freedom of speech is only going to go so far. And Alex Jones knows how provocative he needs to be to keep himself popular. And that's going to be something that's going to eventually bite him square in the butt. But, you know, Jones will probably find a way to eke out of it like any kind of cockroach that would survive the nuclear holocaust. But jumping over into other cockroachy style news, we got ourselves a little bit of an update with DaddyOFive. Now, this one to me is interesting because according to Tisha Lewis from Fox 5 DC, DaddyOFive hired Baltimore-based Falsting Group, aka the Reputation Agency, and says they're doing well and remorseful as they undergo family counseling and life coach services. Now, these two people are morally reprehensible, in my opinion. They are just vile, despicable people. And I know in my original video, I was like, maybe now that they know they've done some fucked up shit, maybe now we can give them a better play, you know, maybe give them the benefit of the doubt. But after watching more and more of their stuff, and the fact that they've taken down all their videos and they've hired the Reputation Agency, I definitely don't. I don't feel like they are trying to do anything other than just cover their ass, complete with little Miss Crocodile Tears over here saying, we're sorry, we hurt our babies, we're so sorry, we done hurt our children, we're so sorry that we used them to beat each other up for the sake of making the YouTube's money. It's all fake crocodile shit. But anyway, so they're working with a guy named Robert Weinhold, who is the chief, right, of Falsting Group, and he says that they are in the process right now of pushing the pause button and making sure that they are providing a normal lifestyle and that they want for them and their children. Now, Weinhold is no stranger to working within controversy. This guy has held positions at the U.S. State Department and a number of other places, such as the Baltimore Police Department and the Department of Justice. He has worked in crisis management for nearly a decade and said that the DaddyOFive controversy is not the worst he has seen. It's not the worst, though. I mean, to be fair, in terms of working in politics, you know, like, it's not the worst situation he's ever seen. Ultimately, I get that. But at the same time, this is a dude who's now trying to, like, run defense for a family, or for parents who have been, you know, like, visually mentally abusing their children for a long time for the sake of earning money. And he's trying to, like, you know, be a fixer. And I get it. It's his job. But it's going to take a lot of work, especially when it comes to YouTube. But then again, here's the thing too. It's not like DaddyOFive has lost any subscribers, right? They've jumped up. They jumped up from 760,000 to 765,000. They've gained subscribers as a result of this. And so they're going to be fine when it's all said and done if this reputation agency can do its thing. So it says here that he also says that his job is to be a problem solver for the Martin family and manage this crisis on a personal and professional level. Weinhold helped the family craft the apology, which now has more than 900,000 views as of Monday night. Today is Tuesday. It's now gone up over 1 million views. And he helped them craft the apology. That was such a weak ass apology. Look at all the times they had like the fade to black. They did more fade to blacks than the fucking Return of the King, man. They might have ended that. They might as well have ended that entire thing by having just Finn written as it like fades to black and white and like some soft violin music plays. Jesus. The crisis manager said that while the Martin family may be YouTube sensations, they are not media savvy. And this is something I did talk about in my original video too. People who, like the YouTube, like this is a totally different world than what we're used to seeing with celebrityism, right? People who become celebrities on YouTube, become popular, e-celebs or whatever you want to call it. They don't understand how these things play out. And because they're not media savvy, they have a sense of realism around them, which is one of the reasons why they become as popular as they become. And ultimately, that only works to add to their downfall in a situation like this, which is why people like the Falston Group are going to be so popular as more of these scandals tend to break out. And they always will. There always is going to be some kind of scandal because people are people and people make mistakes. And in this case, though, it's okay. This is going to be a great case study to see how well DaddyOFive comes out after this whole thing is said and done. If they're able to get back on track with doing the videos, if they fall back into old practices, so on and so forth, it will be a testament to what the Falston Group is able to accomplish. But Weinhold does say here that he talked to them about the court of public opinion and how their videos are being perceived. He has even gone as far as to teach the family how to interact with coworkers, friends, and neighbors amid the controversy. They have to be coached how to talk to friends and neighbors, right? That tells you how bad it is. Like when your friends and neighbors are basically looking at you like you beat your children, they're like, ooh, here's how you kind of handle that. But the thing is, the Martins aren't that smart, so you know they're going to screw up somewhere along the lines. The Martin family future on YouTube remains uncertain, as they have since taken their prank videos off the site. Fox 5 has been told that the family is scared because they have received threats. Yes, like someone tried to drive my wife off the road. Okay, I'm pretty sure that if that did happen, there would just be a camera and the line, just a prank, bro, just a prank. They're full of crap. Weinhold did say it's his job to also take their calls anytime and reassure them that he will do what he was hired to do. So basically, it's like if they're ever having a freak out, his entire job is to show up and be like, no, you guys are fine, you guys are good, you guys are okay, you're all right, you're all right, okay. Robbie's here for you, Mikey. Robbie's here. Let me rub your ears. Let me just kind of rub on your earlobes, where you got those really stupid ear piercings because, you're in your 30s with the dude with earrings. Sorry, to me, that just looks totally bad. But anyway, to kind of wrap up today, I want to talk about something that I came across last night. I'm not going to show you guys the video, but it is something that is intriguing. This is the Arlen Robotics Service Droid 1.0. This is the blowjob robot. This is the dick-sucking robot. This is a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo seeking £12,500 or euros. I think that's pounds. I don't quite know. And it's basically trying to create a blowjob machine. Now, I'm not even making this up. I saw the video, and like I said, I was intrigued. But here's what he has to say about this. The video has an age rating of 18 plus by YouTube. The Model 1.0 service droid started life as a personal project created out of curiosity, given the complete lack of quality male sex toys on the market. As an engineer, I knew there had to be a creative, affordable solution that would replicate human interaction. I just had to put my mind to it. I created an incredibly realistic droid that when assembled looks, smells, feels, and moves like a real human in the room with you. As you can see, here are some of the prototype faces for the blowjob providers. and that is horrifying. That like, why are the teeth so visible there? That is just creepy. That is just scary beyond belief. But that it currently is what we're looking at. And yeah, the video was age rated on YouTube, and it was definitely weird. But the thing is, I'm not gonna lie, there's a market for this. There's absolutely a market for this. There are lots of, look at Angry MGTOW, right? Any MGTOW out there, any MRA that's just like, man, I haven't gotten a blowjob in a long time, I'm gonna order this motherfucking thing, you know, because it's better than a fleshlight. It is, if you think about it. It's motorized, so therefore you don't have to like control it yourself. You can just kind of let it do its thing. And I saw the video, and like you could just kind of tap its head, and it will stop moving. Right. So it's like, okay, cool. You can control it with that. And the idea there is that it's going to have like, you know, some kind of realistic fleshy substance. It's going to have like hair, and maybe like you could spray some perfume on it, and you can dress it in different clothes if you want to make it look like it's not just like what looks like a couple pieces of metal moving up and down. Because that's ultimately what it is. It's just like this little box with like a little metal thing that goes up and down, and you put the mannequin head on the metal thing, and then that's what controls the sucking, or at least the up and down. So you're gonna need some lube, you're gonna need some of that stuff. So it's definitely hilarious to watch. So yeah, that is pretty much the blowjob droid. And I have a feeling it's going to be quite popular with a very certain audience out there. And you know what? Screw it. I'm not against it. Dudes need love too, right? You know, everyone likes to orgasm. Everyone likes to get to that point. So why not? Why not have that? Why not allow for that to go down? So yeah, that has been the MundaneMatt Show for the 25th of April, 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed this little journey into the craziness of the world around us, whether it's you're racist for not engaging in eye contact, or you want to protest police brutality by wearing a dress, or if you get sued by trying to claim that a yogurt company hires rapists, or if you want a blowjob machine. There's always something out there for everybody, which is one of the reasons why I have a good feeling about this show going forward, that this show is going to encompass a lot that's for different people, and I hope you guys like it. Be sure to leave your comments below. Really want to know what you guys think about this, and I will talk to you guys later. If you haven't already, thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, check back daily for not only this kind of coverage, but movie coverage from the $3 theater side of it. And my name is Matt Jarbo. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.